You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again, Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hood Table one more again. Come on in. Make sure you like and share the video on your way in. And please also make sure, if you happen to be new here, that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell also, so you won't miss any of our shows. But thank you guys for coming through today. I was looking out on the YouTube streets around the sector to see if anybody else was live, because I've been like chilling throughout the day. Then I went and took me a nap, and I thought I was going to be taking me a cat nap. And when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, it's about to be nighttime. But I almost thought it was like the next day. Y'all know how y'all go to sleep and you sleep so good and you wake up and you be like, the sun is shining, but is it today? Is it still yesterday? I mean, tomorrow? So I had to look at my phone like, oh, okay, it's still the same day. It's still Monday. Okay. But what's up, Melissa? How you doing, boo? Good to see you. Good to see you, Melissa. Member. Yes. Feel free to also join the membership if you like to become a member. It starts at $1.99. Shout out to the newest members, and shout out to those who was in the chat with me yesterday when I was, discussing some personal things. I do appreciate you guys and all your love and support, for the ones who be genuinely concerned with your girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same way with my friends and people close to me, when they going through stuff. So, always try to show support. So I do appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Look at that. 69 months. 69 months, Mel. That's a lot. You know what? That's older than my grandbaby. That's older than my grandson. We've been rocking much longer than that. But yeah, thank you so much for being supportive. And again, yesterday, we discussed a few things around the sector. We also discussed, some personal things. And again, I appreciate you guys for sliding through and catching the replays, because people were commenting on the replay as well. So I do appreciate that. One thing I do also have to say is it was so nice to see Sassy back yesterday. And Sassy has been, hitting a few links here and there. She was on a panel actually with ODS earlier today, and she was on a panel with him. I think ODS was live for a couple of hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours, and she was over there for the majority part of him when he was going live. And it's just so good to see her up there. She's catching up on things, catching up on the beefs, and all the things, beef sector and a little bit extra. So it was good to see her on the panels with us last night, and then to see her again with ODS today. Now, somebody did ask Sassy, is she going to be going live again or having panels or anything like that? And she was like, well, not really. At least for not right now. I believe she's not going to, because she's just now, after Lent, she's just now coming back, and checking out the content and stuff. And she's like, there's really nothing for her to, discuss right now. But she did say for the members, for her members, she will put out like 2 to 3 new shows, coming up. I don't know when. But she did say she's going to give her members like 2 to 3 shows because, she was on Lent. Some people was on out of town traveling. So she just want to, get back with her members and stuff and, catch up with them. But yeah, so that'll be cool. So if you happen to be a member over there, you can look forward to that. But today I was just sitting around and I was like, do I want to go live today? I know last night was a long night. Not only was I with you guys yesterday, during the daytime, I had did like a 1.5 hour live. Then I came back last night with Riggs and I for our On the Block to the Hood table show. And that was about 2.5, almost 3 hours. And then after that, one of my good girlfriends, we was chatting back and forth, and then finally I was like, "Girl, just give me a call." Y'all done heard me say a lot of times, I prefer being on the phone than chatting and inboxing and texting and all that. I'm quick to call your ass and be like, forget all this damn typing and shit. That's just how I am. I'm still, a lover of talking on the phone to people. So we was up all night to damn near the break of dawn. When I say all night to the break of dawn, talking about everything under the sun, child. One of those conversations where you be like, don't want to hang up the phone, be like, okay, I gotta go to bed, I gotta go up. About time you say that, it's been like 50, 11 times. Okay, I'm really going to bed now. So I woke up, I damn near went to sleep when the sun was coming up this morning. So that's why, or later in the day, I had to take me a nap. I was like, I'm tired. I had to take me a nap and end up sleeping for hours. But anyway, I woke up, and decided to come live, decided, allow you guys to hear my voice. I'm doing well, because of, people being concerned with what's going on with me. I just want you guys to know I am doing well. I am feeling well. I'm obviously sleeping like a baby, you know, despite what's been going on. So, I'm staying on my P's and Q's. I did check on the report. They said it can take up to 5 business days, but usually 24 to 48 hours. And then I have to pay I think it's like $5 or something for the report. So I'm definitely going to get that taken care of. So just to let you guys know, somebody else said you need to come live every day just so we can make sure you're okay. And I'm like, okay, I usually do come live almost every day or every other day, but I'm trying to be consistent. I think I've been pretty consistent, since the beginning of the year. So I think I'm doing pretty good. There's a lot of us YouTubers, content creators who are really trying to be consistent. I know ODS, he has made it his goal to be even more consistent over on his channel. He's been doing a really good job. Most of us at least try to dedicate 1 hour, to our supporters, to content every day if we can. If we can. But sometimes people do got to take breaks because doing this stuff every day along with your regular life and, outside of YouTube and kids, jobs, it kind of be a little tiresome and weighing on you. But, we try to do our best. And hey, Lady Virtue One, how you doing? How you doing? You said it's been a while since you dropped down, since you commented. Well, thank you so much for dropping down and engaging in the chat. Absolutely, everyone, feel free to engage in the chat. Drop down, say hey, say hi, say hello, say something. But so let me get to this commentary. I'm not gonna be here long. I just want to talk a little bit about the relationship with Albie Shore and Luenell. Now, y'all know when I first found out, who was it? Was it Mel? Who was it? Somebody had got me together because I thought that it was trolling when Luenell and the rumors start going around, the rumor mill start growing about their relationship, her and Albie Shore. Because before that, the last thing I had heard about Albie Shore was, when the book came out with his ex, and then the shit went down with Diddy, and then Albie Shore's son, the shit that he put out about his dad and how Diddy, did a better job, being a father to him and whoop, whoop, whoop. And so then next thing I know, Albie Shore, he's like really sick and he had a health scare and it was renal failure. And he was in a coma for 2 months. And I remember that shit. I remember that shit because I was like, oh my God, Albie Shore, he's in a coma, he's sick, and we're like that with some of our, biggest entertainers, our most fave entertainers. Just like when Jamie Foxx was sick and didn't nobody know what the hell was going on with Jamie Foxx when he got sick on that movie set. And he was out for a long time. And I remember when Jamie Foxx came back and he did his stand-up show, had me in tears when he had his daughter out there. His daughter was playing that what was she playing, a guitar? I believe, and had me in tears because, he said that's one of the reasons that kept him living and kept him pulling on was her, coming to his bedside every day when he was in a coma and just playing her beautiful music. So, a lot of us was really concerned when I'll Be Sure took a turn, with his health, but he was able to bounce back, and with bouncing back, and after having one of the worst years that he's ever described, when he collapsed, it was crazy because Jamie Foxx got sick on a movie set. Albie Shore got sick on a music set. He was working on new music and he collapsed. So that's kind of similar situations, but he was intubated. He was on a ventilator. He was on a trach. It was a lot of things going on. He had a near death experience, just like Jamie Foxx. And what he said when he came back and was back on his feet and everything, he said, "What people don't truly understand is unless you've been through this type of medical journey, is taking granted your breathing. We take for granted our breathing, tying our shoes, speaking, walking. When you come back for something like that, sometimes you have to learn how to walk. You got to learn how to eat. You got to learn how to swallow." They had to cut open his chest and do all kind of things. He had to get a new liver. So he did mention that he had a lot of support from a lot of people in the industry, like Snoop, Holly Berry, Vice President, First Lady Kamala. Yeah, not first. Yeah, well, I can't say Kamala First Lady. Kamala Harris. And he said, getting back to business, he's now working on writing a book. I don't know if his book ever came out, but if he did write a book, I might be interested in checking it out. But one of his biggest supporters also was Luenell. It was Luenell, and a lot of us didn't know about their past or how close they were or their relationship. And Mel said it was her. I knew it was somebody, one of my friends on here, who had told me that no, it's a real relationship. I had no idea it was a real relationship. I thought they were trolling or that people were just, how it is, people see celebrities together, they see them out and about, maybe even cozied up to one another or leaning in on each other or hugging each other, and the rumors just start to spread. Oh my God, is Luenell with Albie Shore? That's kind of what I was getting from the internet. So I didn't think it was serious. But come to find out, of course, later we come to find out, they kind of made it official on IG around Martin Luther King Day. It was like January 19th or January 20th. And they kind of made it like not official because they were already official. But when you go public, it's like really official now. Okay, everybody knows you ain't got to question our shit anymore. We in a whole relationship, a whole situationship, and it's all good. Okay, Luenell and Albie Shore was like, it's all good in the hood. Okay, but what I also didn't know, and I had said shout out to them. If it is a serious relationship, shout out to them because everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves love. No matter how old you are, no matter what experiences you've been through, I feel like everybody deserves love, even if you're like been married for a long time or you're older now or things like that. Because once you get older, a lot of people, we have to look at relationships differently once we get older. It's no longer this quick thing, this self-fulfillment, living in the time, in the space, things like that when we're, like when we're younger. Like when we're younger, we want everything to happen fast. We want everything to happen quick. Everybody, when they're younger, not everybody, okay, let me take that back. But a lot of people, when they're younger, feel like they have to be in a relationship. You have to be like the Joneses. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to be in a relationship. Yeah, something wrong with you if you ain't got no man. Something wrong with you. Okay? That's how they look at females. Something is wrong with you if you don't have a man. But then when it's like on the flip side, when it's a man who's single, they be like, why ain't nobody snatched you up? Why ain't you not? It ain't something must be wrong with you, nigga, if you ain't got no woman. On the flip side is different. Absolutely. You said you remember when he got sick? Yes, I love me some I'll be sure. Mm-mm-mm. I love me some I'll be sure, especially when light skin was in. Has light skin ever came back in? Because when light skin went out like bell bottoms, okay? All the dark skinned brothers, all the brown skinned brothers, all the, they've been hanging in there for a long time. And for like a mini second, I had a thing for light skin for a mini second. But during the 90s, when all those celebrities came out that was dark skin, brown skin, it was just like, it was a wrap. It was a wrap then. I still love I'll Be Sure, but I no longer had the crush like I used to have on him when I was younger. You say that. You say that about me and what's wrong with him. I've never said that before. I've never said that before. When I hear a guy say he's single, I don't even believe him. I be like, you lying, Nick. You lying. You got something. You know you got something going on. That's how I feel about guys when they say they single. I'm like, you probably got a girl on your inbox and your DMs and your text messaging on your Facebook. You doing something. Because guys, for the most part, do not stay single for long. For the most part, they do not stay single for long. And should I say single or should I just say fucking with somebody? We can definitely, as women, go longer without fucking with somebody. Guys, on the other hand, shit. Even if they got to call somebody in their black book, somebody they ain't talked to in many years, many moons, they can't go a long time without situationships. I ain't gonna say relationship, but yeah. And you right, Lady Virtue. We really do take things for granted. I'm one of those people. I can't lie. I'm one of those people. Like, have you ever been in a storm and your lights went out? Has it ever been a winter storm and your heat and your lights went out and you are freezing? You and your kids, you're freezing, waiting on the electric companies and the utility companies to get your block or your neighborhood back up and running. You're trying to explain to your kids why it's cold, bundling up, lighting candles, shit like that, trying to stay warm, trying to survive. It's too bad outside. You can't drive. It's too icy, too much snow, streets not clean, and you can't drive nowhere. You can't like go to nobody's house. You can't go to nobody's hotel. You just gotta stick right there and just try to camper down. You know what I'm saying? Until they get the utilities back on, and then you be like so happy and so excited when the shit comes back on. Like, oh my god! Like even things like that we just take for granted. Flipping on the light switch, turning on the water faucet in the kitchen. A lot of us have to have water bottles, but let that water be off. Child, you know what? When it comes to water bottles, I didn't used to always purchase water bottles. What had happened was because I grew up with the faucet. I grew up with the faucet. My mother didn't buy water bottles and stuff like that when we were growing up. What happened was one of my sons, he had, his female companion. She used to come over a lot when he used to still stay home. And she would always ask for a water bottle. Or do you have a water? She would ask my son, did your mom have a water? I'd be like, it's ice in the freezer. It's an ice maker. Is water, make you a cup of water. So me, after they dating for a while and quite some time, every time I did my grocery shopping, I would get some water. I would get a case of water, especially if I knew she was coming over, so she could have her water bottles. And I would tell my son, "You owe me whatever it costs, 6, 7, 8." I'm like, whatever it costs. That's what you owe me for some water. But of course, I didn't charge them. But after that, I literally it became custom. Every time I place an order, when I get down to like 10, 15 bottles left, I buy a whole new case of water. So I became accustomed to doing it. But let me not have any bottles and they run out, I'll be right over there to that seat, filling up that cup, putting it in the freezer, the refrigerator, letting it get cold, or throwing some ice cubes in there. But yeah, when the internet is down, oh yeah, we take a lot of things for granted, especially when that internet is down. And we can't go online, we can't check Facebook, uh, check YouTube or anything like that. And hey TC, how you doing, boo? And yeah, I was just talking to Mel earlier today. They said it takes like up to 5 days to get the report, but usually within 24 to 48 hours when I check today. So I'm gonna check again tomorrow. But they said it can take up to 5 business days to actually get a copy of the report, and then I gotta pay $5. So yeah, that's that on that on that. But yeah, thanks for asking, Boo. Thanks for asking, Boo. I had said at the top of the hour, shout out to all the people who truly, concerned with what was going on and expressing their concern and giving me tips and advice and, things like that. So I appreciate you guys. But yeah, so as far as Luenell though, I mainly wanted to discuss this not just because of the fact that she's dating Albie Shore, but because she has been getting bullied ever since people found out that Albie Shore and her were dating, and I had no idea. Did y'all know that she was being bullied? She's literally being like bullied, and people dragging her across the internet, and even at her own stand-up comedy shows. She's been getting like dragged and ridiculed. Like, what does he want to do with you? Why does he want you? How did you get him? How did you pull him? And then there's like an age difference with the two, but not a big age difference. It's like about 10 years. It's like about 10 years. But that a 10-year age gap, that's not a huge thing to me. 20, 30, 40, a super older person dating somebody very, very young, fresh out of high school, fresh out of their 20s, like shit like that can be a little weird. But as far as their relationship is only 10 years apart, but yeah, people are treating her like she's robbing the cradle, like she's not worthy of him, she don't deserve him. And forgetting the fact that they have been longtime friends. They've been friends for over 30, 40 years, 30 years, something like that. They've been longtime friends. He always had a fondness of her and her of him. And then when he did, have that health scare, when he had to be in the hospital and had some problems with his liver, going through renal failure, she was one of the people, that was right there, always there for him, at his side, at his bedside, trying to speak life into him, positively, reassurance, you know what I'm saying? As a friend, as a longtime friend. And he absolutely remembered that. Not only did they have a friendship, but he actually, after he came through, you remember the people who are there for you, through the good times, through the bad times, through the thick, through the thin. And she was one of those people, along with, he mentioned other people like Snoop Dogg and, a lot of other celebrities, that was supporting him during that time. He mentioned other people too, but he definitely took in the fact that she was definitely there for him a lot, a lot. But a lot of people are looking past that, and the rumors of the romance. A lot of people's like, nah, that can't be true. I'll be sure Luenell. Now, when I was discussing it, and Melissa told me, yeah, it's true, girl. I wasn't discussing it like, and for those of y'all who remember that day or whenever we spoke about it, I wasn't discussing it like, oh my God, Luenell. Oh my God, he's too good for her. Oh my God, he needs to find somebody because a lot of people is talking about her weight. And she's a healthy woman. She's a big girl, plus size, like me, and a lot of other people. And sometimes people feel like plus size big women can't land a good looking man, or a wealthy man, or a man with a great career, or they feel like that. And especially it be the younger ones, these younger ones with them fake booties and them fake titties. These younger girls who are, they can use a turkey leg or two. They be the ones who mainly be like, oh my gosh, like, what does he want with her? Oh my gosh, he must want her because she can cook. What's up, Mr. Boston? How you doing? Yes, people be hating. They be hating on her relationship. I took it as no, no way. Luenell and I'll be sure. Like for real? I had no idea. I took it as like it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't like a negative surprise. It was like, oh my God, I love her. I love him. They together. Like, really? Had no idea. Had no clue. And then you get to thinking, well, damn, did they used to have something going on back in the day when she was with her and he was with her? It's actually, you start because, they say in a video clip that I'm going to show you, he said he been having a thing for her for like 30 years. And I'm like, well, damn, over the past 30 years, you done been with a plethora of people. She's been with different people. So maybe it was one of those things where maybe they had a crush on each other, or maybe they were in and out here and there, and we might not never know unless they come out here and tell it, right? Tell it. That's what I want them to do. You said, let's go. You said, what makes him the reward versus her? Right, Mel. Exactly. I love me some Luenell. I love her so much. I follow her on every platform she has. I mean, the first time when I first laid eyes on her, in movies and television shows, and when she was running around the world with Cat Williams and then back in the day, and they was doing their stand-up comedy tours, and oh my God, I fell in love with Luenell a long time ago. She is like so high spirited and outgoing and straightforward. She's funny. She be out there living life. She be out there living life. Now she has discussed over the years how her life actually had impacted the relationship with her and her daughter. But now that her daughter is older and she's older, they kind of getting back the mother-daughter bond and stuff that was missing for a long time because she was out there trying to make money. Like a lot of people in these industries, the entertainment industries, they don't have a lot of time left in them for their children when they always traveling and they always making videos or movies or, doing this or that. And then the little time that they do, have with their children, it might be like a day here, a weekend here, and then it's back on the road and they got to leave their kids with, loved ones, their family, their grandparents, or, something like that. So that's how the situation was with her daughter and her. They had a strained relationship for a long time, and a lot of things. One of the things that her daughter did say about her when she was always on the road when her daughter was younger, she said she hated when she left because she never knew when she was coming back. So she said she hated to always see her go because she couldn't go with her. And in that type of world, unless you have like a full-time nanny or, you don't want your little child to be hanging out with you. Some of them people is really like raunchy in real life, not just on the stage. And they doing a lot of grown folks things, drinking and, smoking, and a lot of people in the entertainment world, they be doing heavy drugs and just all the partying, and hell, you bring your child, they might end up sitting in a hotel the whole time anyway. So, like most people in the entertainment industry, they have to leave their children back at home. But hey, Peach Cobbler, how you doing? You said yes, they can. Yes, they can. Big women. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Mr. Boss said, I love me some big women. I know that's right, child. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. You said I seen the episode of Iyanla. Oh yes, Iyanla. I love Iyanla too. I have watched that too, and that's where I got some of that from. And her daughter is extremely beautiful. Her daughter is extremely beautiful, and I'm also glad that Iyanla is now doing her shows, her reality show as well, because I used to watch Iyanla. I mean, like religiously. religiously when she was first on air for over the years, and when she used to be on Oprah and all that kind of stuff. And so then she kind of took a hiatus, and when she came back, I was really happy that she came back, because a lot of people could use her experience and her knowledge and her wisdom and her, in their lives and in their journeys and they past, because she is a very special person, bringing people together and helping people resolve issues, especially family issues, children and their parents, things like that. Relationship issues too, but especially, family issues. You know what I'm saying? But yes. So anywho. So child, she was getting out, she's being bullied out there by certain people online and people trolling her relationship and things like that. So one day she happened to be on tour. Let me pull this up. And somebody, yes, beloved. Yes, beloved. That's her favorite word, right, Mel? But somebody on one of her tours and it was a female in the audience, and she had yelled out, "How did you pull I'll be sure?" Like, how dare you? Like, the audacity? Like, no couth at all. The audacity to ask somebody, how did you pull your person? And then I don't know if it was to embarrass her or try to shame her or try to humiliate her or try to make her feel unworthy or undeserving. But let me play this video clip for you guys, for some of y'all who might not have seen it. Now, I seen this a while back. I just never got around to doing commentary on it. So I have seen this trending for quite some time before now. But let me hit mute. Oh, and by the way, the video is kind of low, so you might want to turn your volume up all the way as much as you can for this video clip. Just a heads up. Also, we're going to throw up our copyright disclaimer.
Church is about to be in session. Y'all listen up. Peace and blessings, first and foremost. I've been on this woman for 30 years. Okay. Literally, we've been friends for over 15 years. We've been through traumatic health issues at the hand of rhymes with shitty, possibly. And, at the end of the day, when you get grown, little girl, you realize that it's not all about belly rings and nipple piercings and twerking and being in the club. You want somebody that's going to stand by you. Okay. And I was there, and I'm going to be there until the proverbial wheels fall off. And I pray to the Lord that you find somebody who feels the same way about you as he feels about me. I'm out.
Child! Did y'all hear that? I know it was kind of low. Because she wasn't speaking into the mic. She wasn't speaking closely into the mic at first, but then you kind of hear it a little better. But basically what she was saying was to the little girl who tried to shade her in the audience, one of the comedy show attendees She was like, little girl, once you get a certain age, you realize it's no longer about twerking. It's no longer about, hanging out and getting, being in the fast lane and out there trying to about the big booties and the big boobies and the flat bellies and the belly piercings and the tongue piercings and the, stuff like that. It no longer becomes a lot about that when you get older, especially Luenell. She's about 60. I'll be sure it's about 50 something. She's about 60 something. They about 10 years apart. So, they're both older. They done both experienced a lot of things earlier in life, throughout life, raised children, had children. Of course, we know about his health scare and how she was there by his side every step of the way. She had to put that little girl in her place. And like you said, Peace Cobbler, the nerve. Like, yeah, she read the fuck out of her. And she did it so gracefully at the same time. She stood up for herself. She could have said, fuck you, bitch. That ain't none of your business, bitch. She could have been like really disrespectful. Just like the girl came off to her really because that is disrespectful. You're basically telling somebody to their face, you don't deserve that person. You don't deserve that person. But she said she is going to be with him until the wheels fall off. Until the wheels fall off. And again, I'm happy for them. I am truly happy for them. Y'all hear from me all the time. I'm happy when people are in relationships and they are happy. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. As long as you're good, I'm good. Now, you know how friends and relatives might give you the side eye sometime if you bring somebody new home, like who that is, who his family is. We might be looking him up and down like he's choked. Like, who was that comedian? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Bernie Mac. When he was telling that story about his niece and nephews, how his niece came down the stairs and the little boy said him downstairs. The little girl wanted some cookies. She wanted some milk and cookies. But when when his nephew went down the stairs to get some milk and cookies, he was like, you better get your wobble leg ass back upstairs. It's too late. Y'all ain't getting shit out of this kitchen. The light above the stove is on. That means stay out of the damn kitchen. And the little girl went down there. She was like, where he at? Her brother's like, him downstairs. She wobbled her little knock-kneed, bow-legged little ass down the stairs. Oh, that shit was so funny. He's like, she wants some milk and cookies. I know y'all remember that. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to him. Oh, my God. I miss him. Oh, my gosh. He is so, so missed. Bernie Mac is so, so missed. It's always the good ones, boy. It's always the good ones. But anyway, yeah, that shit was funny. But yeah, she read the hell out of her. She stood up for herself. She stood up for herself and, let her know, like, one day, hopefully, you'll find someone who appreciates and loves me and treats me the same way that he does about me and who feels the same way about me as I feel about him. Some milk and cookies. You said I've gotten that reaction when I was married and it was very insulting. Like, I'm like, bitch, yes. Like, just because you're a big girl don't mean you can't. I don't even want to call it catch a good man, but shit, it don't mean that he can't be with you. Because sometimes when there's women who are, healthier women, they feel like, oh, you got a catch. Why can't I be the catch? Why can't she be the catch? Why can't he be like, oh my God, I found me a catch. I found me a great woman, a smart, intelligent woman. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm glad she did put her in her place. But yeah, the internet, they still gonna do their thing. The trolls too. And I did drop the link just in case anybody wants to hit the link. Is pinned. I didn't plan on being on here too long. I plan to give my hour or so, unless somebody wants to hit the link. And hey, newbie, did I speak to you, baby? Hey, newbieism. Hey, beautiful. How you doing? How you been? Happy Monday. But yeah, please make sure you guys like and share the video. I know we're a small crowd tonight. Please make sure you like and video. Help us stay in the algorithm. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss. But yeah, some people can be really mean, really cruel. We know what it gets when it comes to the internet and when it comes to you know, social media and things like that. But hold on, hold on one second. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, here's another clip I'm going to play for you guys. Let me rewind it.
They were saying he must be out of money. I'm like, you know, he got where my person that I'm seeing don't give a fuck because it's not nice. They were saying he must be out of money. I'm like, you know, he got where my person that I'm.
So that's some of the rumors out there too, that he must be out of money. She was like, do you know he got more money than because that's what okay, I know y'all done seen the memes, especially around income tax time. I know y'all done seen the memes because I see them every year. I see them for years. Every year around income tax time, people will post these funny memes, and it'd be like a skinny man, a really skinny man, laying up with or laying under a really big woman. And they'll say, "Oh yeah, this is how you can tell it's income tax season because men will sacrifice. They will make a sacrifice to get with a woman with some money on the way." You seen that shit? Yeah, Mel. Every year around like November, December, January, February, those memes will pop up on, especially on Facebook. That's where I normally see them. And I mean, they had a woman so big, looking like she like 700-800 pounds, on top of a little man who looks like he's about 140 at the most. You said nobody ain't got to worry about laying up under me, right? A lot of us hardly ever get money back, right? Like, especially if you're older and you don't have children at home anymore, or children in college and they done moved on and you have no dependents to claim. And even if you have like homes or interest or student loans or stuff like that, maybe can deduct, still end up owing. Still end up owing, based off, how much money that you might be making. Shoot, a lot of times, people be like, when it comes to income taxes, I remember those years when I used to get all those thousands when my kids was younger. And boy, we'd be shopping and I'd be paying bills too, but we definitely was shopping. We definitely was traveling around the world and I. But those are some things that you can take for granted too, because a lot of times when we have these kids and we be getting that income tax money for the kids every year, a lot of people don't spend it wisely. They blow it off. They buy regular cars. We see the memes on that too. They buy regular cars that break down within 2 months. They don't put money in the bank. They don't put nothing towards their kids' college funds. They don't do work around their house. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And then months and months later, they ain't got no money to show for it. They broke and scratching and surviving to get to the next income tax season, right? So one thing I did learn, throughout those days when my kids was younger, to save. When my kids were younger, of course, that wasn't my way of thinking then. But as they got older, I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna spend this much, we're gonna save this much, we're gonna put this aside for travel, we're gonna put this aside for your sports and shit like that. And I would make that money stretch damn near 3/4 of the year at least. At least. But yeah, when those days are gone, shoot, it's all about the checks that you get, and that's it. The paychecks that you get, the different streams of income if you got multiple streams. But yeah, boy, sometimes I do miss them checks, boy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When that check hit, I heard somebody else the other day say they remember when their parents' check would hit because the parents would come home or they would get off of work. Do you know how many people I know used to get off of work early? I might have done it a couple of times, or two, or three. But they would call in sick for work or they would call off for work, and even the management at the jobs would know that motherfucker ain't sick. They income taxes done hit, and they ain't lying either. A lot of times it would be just like that, and people would call in, and they would be out all day with their kids shopping and buying up everything in the malls. And oh, I remember those days. I remember those days. People like, did your taxes hit, girl, yet? Did you? Oh, what about the ones who say, can I borrow some money until my taxes hit? Child, I never been that person though, but I do know one person, and she told her story on here because that is our good girlfriend, our good Judy Carmel Diva, and she told us about a story one time where she had a good friend. They were like besties for years, grew up together and everything. And so one year, her taxes hit before her homegirl, and her homegirl was like, "Can I borrow a couple of thousand from you until I get my taxes?" And so Karma Diva gave her the money, in good faith that she would return it to her. And so the girl got her taxes. Girl, why that girl stop answering her phone calls, stop answering her text messages, Facebook, everything totally like blocked her. Karma Diva was calling and calling and calling. She was going around the way trying to reach her through family and friends and going over her house. Nothing. Time kept going, time kept passing, months and years and stuff. And she kept trying to excuse me, get her money from that girl. She eventually had to end up taking her to court. Now imagine that. A long time friend. I mean a good friend, a bestie. And you loan them some money till they get their taxes and they don't never pay you back. And not only that, they ghost you. A long time friendship over a couple of $1,000. They ghost you, take your money, then you have to take them to court. So what ended up happening, the girl didn't even show up to court. So Karma Diva won, by default. But they had to garnish the girl. So they had to garnish her to get her money back. So Karma Diva did eventually get her money back. But she had to go through all that just to get a loan back from your bestie of somebody you've been friends with for years. That was real shady. That was fucked up, actually. Fucked up. Oh, yes, newbie. I know people now. They be having too many kids to claim. They will have somebody else claim them kids, whether it's mama, grandma, friend, cousin, people out of town. And then they will like split the money. People still do that. And if you got a whole bunch of kids, like a whole bunch of kids, I remember times I only had 2 kids. I remember times when I would have like $8,000-$9,000. So I know people with 2, 3, 4, 5. They was getting like probably 10, 11, 12, 15. Sure, and yes, you do gain friends. Shit, that's just like winning the fucking lottery. But like, I worked for this. I bust my ass for this. I took care of these kids all year for this. Cause hell, the money that you spend all year on a child, one child, that shit don't even make up for that. It's just like, here you go. Here's a little something to help you throughout the next year because you have kids to take care of. It's like that. It's like, okay, it's some good money. It ain't gonna last forever unless, of course, you probably invest it wise or just keep it saved up. But it definitely, it definitely don't take up for all the money that you spend on your children throughout the year. But it helps. It helps. It's nice to have those tax breaks available. Even the fact that we got them available, that's nice to have them available. But yeah, I can imagine how many friends you gain, child. And wow, when you say 11, every time you talk about how many kids you got, we're like, oh, how you doing? Only got 2, and I still say to this day, I be telling them, I'm glad I only had 2 of y'all. They be like, really? Or sometimes my kids piss me off or get upset or irritate me. You know, they grown now, but you know, kids will still do that to you. I'll be like, that's why I didn't have no more, y'all. That's why I'm not going to have no more. And they be like, Mama, you too old to have kids. I am not too old to have kids. It still works and it still produces if I want it to. Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure this is our beautiful newbie. Hey, hon. Okay, I see
It's
you.
me.
Okay, I see you. You can turn your camera off if you want. Okay. All right. How you doing, love?
I'm doing good. I just had to come up here and tell you because I can't expect. I have relatives to this day that will not speak to me because I wouldn't let them use my kids. Okay, like you got all them kids, you can let me get one or two of them kids. No, because I'm not trying to fight. Let me tell you, three people I won't fight with: the Ira, the Aura, and the S.
And the
Like,
S.
no, girl,
You right.
I got family members that won't talk to me to this day because I wouldn't let them find my damn kids.
And that is messed up because a lot of times they can't come back and they have to like, well, was a child living with you? Was they going to school with you? What did you do for the kid all year? What do you know? Sometimes that stuff can't happen.
Yes. And then we ain't even
That is
gonna talk
crazy.
about the one person that had my kids' information. I had a cousin that had my kids' information because it's a long story, but they were filing my children for like 5 years and I knew nothing about it until I
What?
got audited and it all shook out. That they have been having fun with that money, honey. I ain't know nothing about it. Because no matter I got 11 children, but you can only file so many. You do know that you only get a credit for so many children, no
Right.
matter how many you have. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They got me. They got me,
That's
honey.
messed up. I do know somebody, I can't recall who it is off the top of my head, but somebody in my past who had told me a similar story that somebody had found out their children's information and they were filing like some of their extra kids. And I was like, that's messed up. But eventually it got found out because when they went to file kids one year, they was like, oh, somebody already filed the kids. And they was like, well, who would have
Mm-hmm.
done it besides maybe their father or something? But most people have an agreement, like I did with my son's dads. We had an agreement, as far as like who filed and who didn't file or, stuff like that. And they found out that it was like a family member who was filing their kid. I'm like, that's fucked up.
Yeah. People will do it. I'm telling you, people will do it.
Yep, and that's right, Lady Virtue. That was wrong as fuck. Like Karma Diva, my co-host, my friend in real life who lives here in my city, who used to do shows with me all the time. She had told us that story that she had loaned one of her good friends of like 15 years some money until they got their taxes back from her taxes. And when the taxes came around for the friend, she ghosted her for years, just ghosted her. Like, how you go from talking to somebody every day for years and then they loan you some money, you get your taxes back and you ghost them and lose that whole relationship over a
Right.
couple of $1,000.
Listen,
It's
y'all.
messed up.
I don't be trying to preach to people or tell people how to live their life. All I can do is give y'all the advice that I've gained from my own experience. I
Mm-hmm.
don't loan out the hoodie. I don't loan out anything. I don't care if it's $5. If I can't stand to lose that $5 and never see it again, you can't have it. When I
And
loan
see,
you something, I, I
oh, go
expect
ahead,
it
babe.
back, but if I lose it, I'm gonna be able to make it. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Right. Right. Because a lot of times it's not about can we survive without it. Because, you hear people say, like, hey, I didn't even complain over the years about people I loan money to and they never pay me back. I hear oftentimes we might see a post on Facebook about somebody, I'm not loaning nobody no money no more and I'm keeping my money. I see those rants sometimes on Facebook. And some of the people in the chat be like, well, if you couldn't afford to let it go, you shouldn't have gave. It's not always about if I'm going to be homeless after I get this person his money. It's about you needing it super bad and me being the one to help you out. You
Right,
could have went to somebody else if that was the case, right?
right.
So I feel like if I'm willing to, trust you to give it back, then you should be willing to give it back because once you burn those bridges, and somebody did burn their bridges with me on that shit. They had overtime, was always asking to borrow money, and it wasn't like huge amounts, but in the end, it adds up. It might be 10 here, 15 here, 20 here, 25 there. Da, 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 it adds up. And so one day I just broke them. I was like, you know what? I can't loan you no more money because you don't never pay me back. Or you might take 3, 4, 5 months to pay me back, then turn around and ask for some more money. No, you need to do something in your life. You need to get a better job, maybe work 2, 3 jobs like I did all my life, damn near. Ain't nothing wrong with having an extra job, an extra hustle
Not at
if
all.
you need it.
Because I've been retired for over 10 years. And I promise you, I got 3 or 4 side hustles. Because I ain't gonna be doing
Exactly.
it. Okay. But the
I
thing
believe in a hustle or two. I believe in a hustle or two on top
exactly.
of your regular job. Hmm.
But I don't even worry about the people no more because whatever little $50, $100, whatever you borrowed and won't pay back, you just bought your way out of my life. So if it took that $50 to get rid of your ass, good riddance. Okay.
Yeah, because I just feel like people don't appreciate you and don't respect you because it's not like, again, it's not like you could be making a whole bunch of money, have a good career, got all kind of money in the bank, right? So it's not like you just absolutely is going gotta, you're not going to survive if you don't get that money back. It's about the respect. It's about the respect that I looked out for you. I looked out for you when you needed it the most. And there's been times in my life, newbie, where whether it's from my parents or from a friend or cousin, that I might have been, down and needed to borrow some money. And when I say I'm gonna pay you back on such and such day, you better believe it could
Right.
be 5, 6 in the morning when that paycheck hit. What time you want me, girl? You call me back later. You don't have to just, I'm like, I just want to make sure I get you your money back.
Right. But that's
But,
integrity, hoodie. I
right.
can't stand to owe people anything. But I've learned I promise y'all, when I give something, I give it from my heart because I felt like you needed it, but I don't even look for anything back. And if you pay me back, then great,
Hmm.
wonderful. But I have just learned because there were some people, I think, Hoodie, me and you talked about this before, some of the people that I was helping, like I had people on my damn payroll basically. Every time I got paid, I was letting them borrow $100, $50, a bag of groceries, something. And then when I found myself down and out, I didn't hear from none of these people. They got ghosts on me. That hurt me so hoodie. That hurt me so bad. And I
And
didn't
that's
do
usually
it.
how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. But that hurt me so bad. And to this day, hoodie, to this day, there are people in my family like, oh, she got money. She ain't broke. When I be really going through it, like damn, hard times hit me too. I was a victim of the recession.
Hard times hit a lot of people. Let me tell you, I tell the story about how I used to be in real estate for years as a younger adult. Early on when my children were smaller, and when that shit hit, when the market crashed, remember the housing market 2007, 8, and on.
Yes. Yes.
When that shit crashed and every fucking job that I had went to laid me off. It wasn't like always right away. I could be there like a year and then a layoff. I could be there 2 years and then a layoff. I was getting laid off back to back to back and I had first, before the recession hit, the last real estate job that I was with before then, I was there for 8 years. And then the recession hit in like '07, '08, and a lot of the companies revolving around real estate, they started laying off people and letting people go and shutting down entire offices. And that happened to me several times. And that's when I was like, fuck that shit. I'm done with the fucking real estate market. I'm about to move on to something else because that was a very bad time for me. A
Mm-hmm.
very bad time for me. That was actually when I had bought my first house. I had bought my first house after working at a job for 8 years, and I bought my first house. I was so happy. It was my first house. I'm still in the hood,
Right.
but moving from the projects and Section 8 and duplexes and apartments and shit. It was my first house, and like as soon as I bought that damn house, that's when I got laid off from my
Mm,
job. And it was never the same after that. I struggled. So I know what it's like to struggle and
right.
be, laid off during a bad time period and you got little kids at home. And it was hard. And so if I had to like borrow money from a friend or family member, I made damn sure that I paid them back. But some people, they just don't care about you enough to borrow from you and then pay you back,
Well,
regardless of how much
and
money is. And
right.
you can burn your bridges like that.
Let me tell you how much I resonate with the time period that you're talking about. I had a couple of rental spaces, right, back in Michigan. and I had a guy that, oh, bless his heart. I had some duplex. You know what a duplex is? Like it's a house, but you break the units up and
Yeah,
you can rent them
I
out.
stayed in a
Okay.
duplex. Yeah, I stayed in a duplex before.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a couple of duplexes, and I had a guy who was, we're going to call him my property manager, but unofficially. He ain't got a license to do nothing, but he living in one of my units for free. And then he go collect the rent. If the toilet gets stopped up, he don't want to go fix it. But he, for this reason, he living in my place for free. Girl, let me tell you how many times I had to go to one of my units because he done messed around with one of the women and told them she ain't have to pay rent this month. Like
Oh
you
no.
do. Yeah. Girl, I done had some fisticuffs with some of them women because now he told me they think he own it. No, he don't own it at all. And then when it all went bad during, when the recession hit, shit, I ain't got it to do. And some of my places, I ain't ashamed to tell y'all, some of my places got foreclosed on. And he was the first one to jump up like, well, newbie, what we gonna do? I got a note. They say I don't know what to tell you. Get some goddamn packing boxes because we got to go.
You know what? Don't ever feel ashamed. There's a lot of people, including me, who struggled like a mug. Okay? Back in the day, I gave my shit back. I gave my shit back because I had continually was getting laid off because that was my field of experience. I was in real estate. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Go to McDonald's, that was my field. And the money that I was making was suffice and sufficient for me to survive with my children. But after that, and then trying to get unemployment and paying a mortgage on unemployment, I said, you know what? Y'all can have this shit. No shame. And now the one I got now is way much better and nicer and than the one I had back then. So everything happens for a reason. People who be shaming people for losing things and getting sick, and I don't play those games. I don't do that shit. Life is hard.
Right.
For at least once in your life, you are going to deal with the situation. And if you survive that situation, you'll be so thankful and grateful and be able to give advice to other people who might be going through the same situation. When I was going through that shit, I talked to one of my good girlfriends and she said, girl, do you know how many people got to walk away from shit? It ain't the end of the world. You can do that later. You can do it again later. You can do it, you're still here, you're still surviving. Do what you got to do for you and your kids. So I felt, some type of way about it at first, but then I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. Me and my kids start packing our shit. I said, y'all, we got to move. And they said, my kids said, because I was kind of sad for them because this was their first, this was our shit. Right. And so I was sad for them, and I told them what was going on in layman's term for a child. And they was concerned about, can we bring our video games and can we bring I said, oh, of course, you can bring all your shit. They was like, well, we don't care. We rolling with you. Where you know what I'm saying? That's how my boys have always been, like, fuck this shit. Let's go.
But some of the things that I have fought for and lost sleep at night, and I can't eat, I can't drink, I can't do nothing. I'm trying to hold on and I'm trying to fix this. When the universe finally lined it up to where I had to let go, the very first thing I felt was free, relieved,
relieved, free.
Thank
God, I'm free. Hallelujah. I'm free. You know what? When I had that conversation with my homegirl, who happened to be my oldest son's godmother, right?
Okay.
I used to have this walking group, and we used to get up at like 5, 6 in the morning and go walking, like on the weekends. And it was during that day. We was walking, the sun was coming up, and I was telling her about everything and trying to get another real estate job and continually being laid off. Most people who are friends, they know what you're going through anyway, right? And I told her, I said, I think I'm going to get a house away. And she was like, really? If that's what you want to do? And I kind of got like real sad. And she was like, girl, fuck that shit. It's a house. Give it away. Send it back. Return the sender. Okay. And, she just made me feel like it's going to be okay. Because at first I was like, I was doing my best to keep it. And I was like, it was those nights. Oh my God. The things the kids don't know that you're going through when they sleep.
Right.
And I was tired of those nights. And so I talked to my friend, I talked to my homegirl, my son's godmother. She said, fuck that shit. And so we went looking and found other places, and I found another place to go. And I told the bank, like it's a car, come get this shit.
Yeah.
I was like, come get this bitch. And that's what I did. And I worked after that to rebuild myself and rebuild my credit and, get into another industry. And I went to college and, all that kind of stuff, put my kids through school. And I didn't come back around to the home until, my youngest one was, about to graduate. It took that much time, but still I was like, sometimes you just gotta let go so you can breathe and be happy again.
Buddy,
let it go.
I share something with you? Can I share
Go
something
ahead,
with
baby.
you, honey?
Go ahead and shout out to Riggs. What's up, Riggs and Miss Ray? How y'all doing?
And I can't see the chat, so hey y'all, hey down there in the chat. But Hoodie, I don't know if you know, but I got my husband. He got a little trucking company. Okay, he got 4 trucks, and then he got the truck he drive, right? And they do good for us. But when you're an owner operator, when things go wrong, it have to come out of your pocket. Okay, the truck that my husband drives, it's an older truck, and he keeps driving that truck because they have a thing called e-log. E-log is electronic. So their log books and when they can drive and when they got to shut down. When you're on e-log, when you're on electronic log, you have to do it right. On the regular log book, pen and paper, you can kind of fumble that up and drive when you want to, make all the money you want to, shut down when you feel like it. So he's driving this older truck, so he don't have to go on electronic logs, right? But this older truck, every other month, like I promise you, 4 weeks ago, the motor went out. We had to replace the motor in this truck to the tune of $10,000 that we didn't have.
Oh, wow.
And then he got that fixed. The starter went out and the tires blew. It's just one thing after, and I told baby, like, listen, I know you want to be able to drive like you want to drive to make your money, but the truck is costing you more money than we're making. Hoodie, I can't get him let go of that old truck. Honestly, Hoodie, if he don't ever drive again, them other 4 trucks that we got running out there will pay all the bills. But I don't know if you know about signs, but my husband a Capricorn. If that explains anything,
I'm a Capricorn too. I'm a Capricorn too.
So you already know it's all business.
Yeah,
it's all money. It's all the next move. Oh my God, y'all get on my. I love you, Hoodie, but y'all get on my damn nerve.
I know we do get on a lot of people's nerves.
Child, so that truck, like, it's costing you more money we're making, but he can't let go. That truck, that's how I made my money. That's how I built my empire. Yeah, you got there. But what is it doing now? Every other day it's breaking down. It's what I'm saying.
You might eventually have to let it go or invest in a brand new one that might not be costing you so much. You might have to buy it and spend that initial amount of money, but that's an investment too. But I used to work for a trucking company years ago, and I was in the department where we give out the passes, like the easy passes and the license plates and the permits. Okay. It was like the permits department. And then on top of that, my bio dad, he's been having his own truck, like several trucks for years. He lives down south, but he's a over the road truck driver, so he's been doing that for years. So I definitely understand the trucking business and the responsibilities with taking care of your own truck. I definitely understand that. And hey, Lovely Love, how you doing? Lovely said, I'm an ex, a lot of us know that she's an ex-truck driver. Yeah. And she said, that's why I can never own, because it's a lot of money. But she said, you can also make good money.
Yeah, you can, but it's, I don't know. You have to learn how to balance it. And husband, when he get an idea in his mind, and see, I'm glad I'm talking to a Capricorn, because you understand me. When y'all get an idea in your head, it's
a wrap. You are so correct. And Mel said, I used to log mileage for a trucking line. You are so correct, honey. I'm telling you, I've been making some decisions recently in my life and financially. And I'm telling you, it's like sometimes when I'm dead set on something, I really do have to pray about it. And sometimes I have to wait and trust and think and contemplate. And, I might keep going over and over and over it, but it usually ends up with me making that decision
Yep.
because that is, I don't know if it's a Capricorn thing or not, but regardless if it's buying a house or buying a car or investing in this or investing in that, there's been times where I like spent money around this bitch and I'm like, damn, did I make the right choice? Did I do this, do that? Trying to, have extra streams of income and the things that I be doing. And I'm like the other day, I just had to buy a new edible printer, $500.
Oh wow. Okay.
For my cakes and my desserts and my treats, the edible images you put on
Mhm.
desserts. So I had to buy a new edible image printer. And it's like it's definitely an investment. A week before that, I had to buy a new laptop, $400 some dollars. So I've been making all these changes, because of my other crafts, because I'm trying to branch out and do more things in my
Mhm.
community. So a lot of times when things hit my mind, I'll be like, I can do this. I can do this. But God, is this the right decision? Sometimes we do have to
Right.
pray and linger on it for a while. But most of all, as a Capricorn, if you come
Mhm.
to a decision, it's going to come. It's going to come through. You're going to
That's
do
it.
it.
That's it. Now,
You're
if
going
you
to
don't
do it.
mind me asking, are you a January or December Capricorn?
December 29th.
That's my husband's birthday. Oh my God.
Shut up. Oh my God. So we're birthday twins. Oh my God. I don't know anybody else who has the same exact birthday as me.
Well, you just met one, honey, and
Oh my God.
that makes me understand so much about you, honey. You just don't know.
Oh my God. So when our time come around and I see you and on these streets, I'll be like, happy birthday to my birthday twin. Tell him I said happy
Right.
birthday.
Oh my God, but I'm gonna tell you something. I love me a Capricorn, and I don't know. I'm a Cancer. I'm a July 20th Cancer. I don't know what it is about me, but listen, my father was a Capricorn. My husband's a Capricorn. My oldest son is a Capricorn. My best friend is a Capricorn. I am Capricorner. Do you hear me?
Yep, you are surrounded. And Lovely said her son is a Capricorn and he just buys stuff for no reason.
Uh-huh.
I believe it, Lovely. She said her son's birthday is on the 30th of December. Okay, so he's right after me and Newbie's husband. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait to tell him I done found his birthday twin on YouTube.
Oh my God, that is so crazy. But yeah, I love being a Capricorn. I mean, the only downfall I hate about that time of the year is because I live in a state where it gets really cold,
Mhm.
winter wise, in that time
Yeah.
of the year. But as a person who always have in the past and still do throw a lot of parties and get-togethers and barbecues for my family and friends,
Uh-huh.
I've always been that type of person. My house has always been like the spot, you know what I mean, over the years. And
Right.
so I've always been very grateful and thankful to people who will slide on me. I mean, literally slide on me
Mhm.
around that time in the winter time, whether it's raining, snow, ice, and we will turn this whole house up no matter where I was living, apartment, project, home, duplex. So I have family and friends that always supported me because, around that time of the year, you be like, who wants to celebrate with me when it's freezing outside?
Mhm.
It's like 10 degrees outside. Child, my friends and family will pull up on you quick. Food, liquor, spades. Let's party. It's cold as a motherfucker, but we gonna kick it. So that's the
This
only
is so
downfall of
funny
my
because
birthday.
I instantly understand what it is that attracted me to you because I love me some hoodie. And now I get it. But let me tell you something about Capricorns. While I'm cornered by y'all, I love me a Capricorn. Y'all are so family oriented. Y'all are protective. And y'all are about y'all's bag. Understand me? Tell me I'm
Honey, you
lying.
said it all. You said it all. That like literally sums us up. We are very, very, very protective. So very protective that when my oldest son, when his girlfriend was pregnant, he was telling his son through the belly, because I used to talk to her belly like all the time. And so
Okay.
he would tell his son through her belly, now this is your yaya. She's very, 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 I mean, he was going on and on, protective. So you're gonna have to get used to that when you come here, because she's very I had that baby almost every other day from birth, and that was during the Rona. Is
Mm.
my baby coming over? 5 days old, 10 days old, 15 days old, 20 days old. I had him every other day for like a whole entire year. Then I had him like 3 times a week. Then I had him every weekend. Then I had him every other weekend. And now he just comes over when the hell he wants to. And he can call me, Yaya, can I come over? Yep. But I'm very, very protective of my sons. Always have been, and they already know. The other one know. My other son knows already. When he have a kid, it's gonna be the same way. What you doing? Where he
Mm-hmm.
at? Can I see him? I'm literally like this when I call my son. Where's my baby? I don't want to talk to you. Can I see him? Put him on camera.
Right.
You okay over there? Yeah, I'm okay. Dad being mean to you? No, no, Dad not being mean. I be like talking to him like, you let me know. You anything go down? I'm a swoop.
Okay.
Don't whoop my baby. Don't hit my baby. Don't I'm just one of those
That's
grandmas.
it. That's it. And I
I'm really,
promise
really
you, cats
protective.
are some
Hmm.
go-getters and Capricorns are some money makers. Now, I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
TC, she won't mind me saying it. TC is my friend in real life. I am retired, Hoodie. I'm retired from my original profession, but I still volunteer and I do things in certain areas that pertain to my profession. Let me get on the phone with her and say, oh, I'm going to do a volunteer thing. T's going to say, well, if you just move this from left to right, you could make money. Y'all are the bag gettingest people
We
I
are
ever seen.
bags. We are bags. You know what? When the Rona hit, I was already into like doing my cake decorating business and all that kind of stuff. Also doing YouTube, also working a regular job. I always worked 2 jobs up until like maybe a year ago. I always worked 2 or 3 jobs from like the time of, 20, 21, 22, always. And so it's nothing for me to have multiple streams of income. But then when the Rona
Mhm.
hit, I really got more serious about YouTube. I got more serious about my cakes because when you're like going through something and you don't have a job, I always taught my sons you should always have a hustle or two. Find something that you're really good at,
Right.
whether that's fixing on cars, whether that's cutting hair, whether that's cooking, moving people, doing lawn service. Always have multiple streams of income just in case that one job don't work out and you in between paychecks. And so I got really serious around that time with my cakes and desserts. And that kind of helped me survive during that time period when I wasn't getting much work from my main job. So I've
Mhm.
always, always, always had two. Man, newbie. I'm talking about one time in my life I worked 3 jobs for 3 months. And it was
I
because
hear
at that
you.
time, one of my son's dads, he wasn't working. The other one, he was like in between jobs, leaving one job to go for another. So I wasn't getting no child support, no assistance from them. And then I had my own little job that, didn't pay a whole lot back then.
Mhm.
I was working my regular day job. Then I was working a night job at some check place where they scan checks. The checks you write
Yeah.
to pay bills, or they was like you have to like send them through scanners. It was very boring. And I had, my 10 key is like 10, 15,000, you know what I'm saying? Per
Mhm.
per minute. So it was a 10 key job. And then on the weekends I worked at Dollar General stocking. I did that for 3 months. So trust and believe I am about my bag. And that would never be a reason where I felt when my children were younger that I could sit there and say, I can't feed you.
Right.
I will do whatever. I'll work at McDonald's. I will deliver newspapers. I will do for everything so that my kids are not starving and we homeless.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
even though
and
we
you know
struggle, I
what?
might have to give up things over the years, but sometimes you got to do that. It ain't always your plans, but it's God's plans. You know how things work out. But I
Mhm.
will work. You cannot say my kids can never say that mama didn't do her best,
Right.
raising them and trying to, financially take care of them. Because I will work my ass off for real.
But it's still a trade-off because Hoodie, I got some letters behind my name. I don't talk about it because ain't nobody on YouTube trying to hire me, so I don't feel no need to come down here bragging about my degrees and all of the things. You understand what
No,
I'm
you
saying?
didn't say it like degrees, like
But I work for that. And me and one of my daughters, we were talking about it the other day. I have 27 different jobs because I had a goal that I wanted to get my degree debt free. I didn't want to owe no money. So I worked all the way through and I had like my dad's money, but my dad had a certain agenda for me that ain't the path that I wanted to take. I wanted to do things. I wanted to go to school where the fuck I wanted to go to, all of the things. Anyway, I have worked 27 whole different type of jobs. The only thing I never done, hoodie, was fast food because I wasn't finna tempt the Lord thy God. I knew that fast food wasn't for me. But I've been a janitor. I've had, listen, 27 different types of jobs because I meant to come out of school debt free, and I accomplished that. Praise God.
Praise
And
God, because I'm still paying off student loans. When I filed my taxes this year and I had to put that interest on there, I was like, damn. But I'm still paying off student loans. I'm like, shit, what happened to that shit Obama said he was going to take our loans away? As soon as this new president came in, he shut that shit down real quick. Obama said, what? Because I sure filled out that application. Remember when Obama was in office and they had you fill out that application to get your student loan removed if it was under like 10,000 or something? Child, when Trump came into office, they shut that shit down. I was like, oh well, immediately. But yeah, we definitely about our bag. We definitely are loving creatures, protective over our families and friends. That is very, very like spot on when you're talking about a Capricorn. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
And that was
shout
my
out
dad.
to you, lovely love. Oh, go ahead, baby.
I bucked against my father, that Capricorn father of mine. I bucked against him because he wanted me to do stuff his way. But still, I have to acknowledge and respect the fact that I learned my work ethic, and my hustle. I know that came from my Capricorn dad because he was out here to get it. But I just didn't, like I said, my father was a little bit bourgeois. Okay, he wanted me to do things his way. And then my older sibling, I'm the baby, hoodie. I'm the baby of my sibling. And I saw where my older siblings dealt with this whole y'all Nepo babies type of thing. And I didn't want that. I wanted to get it out of the mud, as they say. If I had to do all over again, I'd have rolled my daddy's coattail all over.
Well, I think that's the whole reason why me and my mother didn't get along all the time. Like I have told the stories of how I had left home at 17, and even though I continued going to school, no matter where I laid my head at night, life continued on. I might not have had a stable home around that time, but during that time, during my teenage years, me and my mother bumped heads a lot. And so like years and years later, after I had left home and all that, then I became pregnant with my first son, I felt like I needed her in my life again. So we eventually came back together and, had the mother-daughter bond, started over working on that. And it was like smooth. It was good and everything up to the time she passed. But I know that me being a Capricorn and her, that was part of us like bumping heads when I was coming up as a teenager, because we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And then on top of that, she was really, really very, very religious, like a Bible thumper.
Wow.
And she was really religious, and we just didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But yes, Capricorns, we can be a bit much. We can be a bit nuts. And it's like, I don't want to say we're set on our ways, like how people say older people, they be set on their ways or set in their ways. But it can be like that with a Capricorn. When we decide something's going to happen or we're going to do something, whether it's relationship wise, kids, financial, jobs, you can definitely damn near count on it that we're going to make that move.
Oh yeah, I'll say it for you. You ain't got to say it. I'll say it for you, baby. Y'all set your way. with my husband, I have to just like suggest things or bring things up. Sometimes I have to tell a story about my friend so and so did this, that, and the third, and build that narrative so he can hear it, and then he can think that it was his idea and execute it. Because baby, when y'all Cappies get something in you, when y'all mind is made up, ain't no changing it. Ain't no reason to fight it.
Ain't no changing. I'm trying. And my kids, they learn that, boy. Growing up with me, they learn that, boy. I mean, they shit. But one thing they can count on was their mother was consistent. As a Capricorn raising them, she was consistent. Like I'm the same way. Like the people who met me 8-9 years ago on YouTube, you can definitely say I'm consistent. I ain't changed. I don't
Right.
do anything. I don't do everything on here for clout and numbers, and I don't follow the crowds on commentary and all this kind of stuff. I might discuss B sector shit sometime, and then I might discuss trending news. I mean, I'll be all over as far as my platform. You don't never know what I'm going to talk about from day to day,
Mhm.
but I try to be my own self, and I really practice individuality. I've always have, even as a youth, have practiced that. I'm me. I'm my own person. I do what I want to do. And you
Right.
can't force me or make me or mold me or put me in this box. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about
Mhm.
Capricorns too. You can't just make us do shit. You know that you want. No, no, no. It don't work like that. And hey, just me. How you doing? Said I'm a Capricorn too. She said facts
Okay.
on facts.
Okay,
Facts
Kathy.
on facts. Mm-hmm.
Y'all
Yep.
are, let me
Yep.
tell you something. A hoodie, just like with my husband. Now, my two of my daughters are married. The other two are, they still single. Daughter number three, we gonna call her daughter number three. She had this boyfriend, right? And they had the little relationship got tumultuous, if you will. And she was talking to me about it, but she wouldn't talk to her daddy about it. And finally, when she said, "Ma, we're gonna go on and talk to Dad because what we understood is that once you talk to Daddy about it, you need to be completely done because it
Mm-hmm.
is over.
Mm-hmm.
Once you talk to that Capricorn about it, I don't need you to look back no more because he's gonna finalize." Did you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It ain't no turning
Absolutely.
back.
There were
It
certain
ain't no
things
turning
in
back.
my children. There were certain things like I heard other parents say things like this before too. Like my kids when they was growing up, we always had a very open relationship, something I didn't have with my mother. So I made sure I practiced that too with them, especially because they boys and I was like the main parent. They have
Mm-hmm.
dads, of course. They saw them on the weekends or whenever, how parents do when you have that split, you know what I'm saying. But I'm the main one that they see every single day, damn near. So I always try to keep an open relationship. And if I couldn't handle something or think I couldn't, hey, talk to your uncle, talk to your brother, talk to your dad. But for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, that was one thing that they knew for sure. Like if they told me certain things, and if it ain't good, somebody fuck with them, teachers, whatever. I mean, it was like sometimes they'd be like, "Man, I don't think we should tell her. I don't think we should tell
Right.
her," because they know I will, like I told the story before, how I was banned from all high schools,
Uh-huh.
sporting events for 3 months. And I ain't gonna go into the story. I told it several times, but you do not play with my kids. And so a lot of times
Mm-mm.
my sons be like, I don't know whether we should say something to this woman. Should we not? Should we just deal with it on our own? Because I
Right.
will turn a motherfucker out, okay, over
Yep.
my kids. So you would be dragging me out
Absolutely.
that motherfucker. You be dragging me out that motherfucker.
As a
Like for real,
Capricorn,
like
honey, trust me, you are the last straw. We done did
mm,
everything we could think to do before we bring it to you because we know,
exactly.
yeah, that part. You get it. You're a Capricorn. You
I
understand.
I
But
get it.
that is
I get
so
it.
funny to
Mhm.
me because I'm
Even when they
just
tell me things
kidding.
now that I'm grown, your kids sometimes tell you things when they're grown, and you be like,
Mm-hmm.
"What? What the fuck? Who?
Right.
What?" I'm like, "Mom, this happened to Mom. Like, calm down. No, like, okay, don't do this to me. Heart be racing. Like
Right.
or sometimes when you get those phone calls early in the night or early in the morning, and immediately you pick up the phone. What's wrong? Where we gotta go? What we gotta do? Like I'm always like on go. I'm like always on
Mm-hmm.
go when it comes to my kids. Like they be like, nah, it's good. Like one time my son called me from college, the oldest one. The youngest one was in town college, still stayed at home. The oldest one was out of town college and living in a dorm. So when he was in a dorm, one day he called me at or did he text? No, he called me and it was like 2:30 in the morning. So I was asleep, obviously. So I missed his call. So I was calling him the next day, no answer. I mean, I'm calling him all through the day, texting him, no answer, no answer, no answer. And I'm like, why did he call me at 2:30 a.m.? And he's way out in some hick town, some hillbilly hills have eyes looking town. Okay, that's what it
Uh-huh.
looks like when you drive into this school, and then the school is like just sitting there. surrounded by all these fields. And I mean, there's nothing literally there but a Walmart, like a gas station, a church. You know what I'm saying? That's where he wanted to go to school in this little
Mhm.
ass town. And so, and it takes like some hours to get there. Girl, when I tell you, I was so paranoid and so panicked. Like, why he come at 2:30 in the morning? I can't reach him at all now. And so I called up to the school, talked to the security or whatever, trying to find out. They couldn't figure out what was going on. I'm calling his roommate's parents, can't reach him. I mean, I was like really like scared that something had went on and happened. I told my youngest son, if I don't hear nothing back in the next 30 minutes, girl, we was packing up that car and ready to go, pistol in hand. I'm like, let's go. And as soon as we was literally about to drive out the driveway, here he comes calling. And I'm like, what the hell? Why you ain't been able to reach? I've been in class all day, Mom. I've been studying and I've been at the library. I said, well, why the fuck you called me at 2:30 in the damn morning? He said, I was just up and was just calling to say, hey, girl, I must have
Mm-mm.
cussed his ass out. He was like, damn, Mom, my bad. I'm sorry. Don't ever call me like that in the middle of the night and not
Right.
leave a message or a text. Just say,
I,
Mom, just call to say, hey.
cause it's
Girl,
Hoodie.
I
Cause
was
listen,
gonna turn that school up.
I'm nocturnal as it is. Okay, like I'm so after retirement, baby. If it got to be done before 12 noon, I'm not finna do it. Okay, I'm retired. I get to sit back and kick my heels up. My kids know that I've always been nocturnal. So when they call me at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I immediately panic because I feel like
Yep,
something got to be wrong for them to be calling me this
yep.
time of morning. Baby, now, Hoodie, sometimes I don't want to do too much on your live, but sometimes I have dreams, okay?
Hmm.
And the things that happen in my dream, something very close to it will come true in real life. For instance, I dreamt that my daughter had her baby in my hallway. Well, 1 week later, my daughter had her baby in my guest room. That's the baby that I
Oh
told y'all
my
about I delivered.
gosh.
Okay. So sometimes things that happen in my dreams come true.
Right.
Okay. Girl, why? It's 5 o'clock. It was 5:42. I'll never forget it. I got the call recorded. My daughter, one of my other daughters called me 5:42. I don't even know why that call woke me up, but I woke up. I answered the phone like, "Hello, what's going on?" She said, "Mama, what you dream about last night?" Like, what? This whole, oh Lord, forgive me. Talk about my period late. I was just trying to see that you dream about fish or babies or something. Please, the way I wanted to.
I know you was because I be like, what you calling me for? But I'm going to bed. Get off my phone. Girl, I be telling my sons, get off my phone. Hang up. Just hang up now.
Like, don't do that to me. Don't call me at crazy hours because it panics me. Because everybody that know me, Hoodie, no, don't call me before 10 o'clock. Don't call me before 10 o'clock. Because I'm
I
not going to,
immediately panic.
right. I'm nocturnal. I embrace it. I used to let people make me feel bad about that, like the early bird, get the worm, and all of that stuff. I've been nocturnal as long as I can remember being. I be up all night. I sleep late into the day. I'm very productive when I do wake up, but I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the goddamn morning to get things done. Like, leave me alone.
Well, see, I've always been like that. Maybe it has something to do with my oldest son, who, when he was younger, he used to have seizures all the time. He had severe asthma till he couldn't play sports till he was darn near in the 5th or 6th grade because of his asthma. But so when I get phone calls, a lot of times I'll be like on high alert, like, what's going on? Don't let it be the
Yes.
school. Like, is he okay? Like sometimes when my mother would call me when she was babysitting and when I was working and she called me, he had another seizure. I mean, I was always like on panic mode a lot when my oldest son was little. And it kind of carried
Yeah.
on to that panic mode. So even when they got
Yeah.
like older and they would call me like at certain times of the day, what's wrong? Why are you calling me? What's wrong? And like that time when he called me from college, girl, all everything, because mind you, you know he was in this little hick town. um
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it was like one of those one of those towns where it's mainly like white people, but it was like a hick town. Like when you watch Hills Have Eyes before, where you
You
go
know I
through
live
all
in
these
Mississippi,
hills.
so yeah.
Yeah, you go through all these. It's like a hilly drive for hours and hours. Like I mean,
Uh-huh.
really high hills. Then you go down, the highways and byways, and then it's like these old raggedy houses on bricks. Like it's like my hood times 25.
Yep.
In certain places like that, and it's so impoverished and like it was like the last place I would ever want my car to break down. Put it
Mm,
that way. And at nighttime, it's super dark, no lights. And then you get to their school, and the only thing surrounding them is like a Walmart, a gas station, a police station. I mean, you're literally out in the boondocks. So when
yep.
he called me at 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, he's like one of very few black people at this school. I don't know why the fuck he wanted to go there, but he did. And so
Mm-hmm.
I immediately panicked because I'm like, when I couldn't reach him back in the morning, when I woke up and saw he called, it was like my heart was just racing, like just racing. And it was around that time also when a lot of people, especially black people, were being harmed at these
Right.
colleges. It was around that
Mm-hmm.
time period.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things were being done. A lot of kids was caught, drinking and having, passed out, dying, in these colleges. It was around that time frame. And so I didn't know if something happened to him or if he was drunk, high, trying to call me, if he was in danger. All these kind of things just went through my mind.
Right.
Then to find out, I was just calling y'all because I was up late and I wanted to say, hey, boy, I must have cussed his
Okay.
ass out. Don't you ever. You can call me whenever you want, but if it's in the middle of the night, at least text or something. I didn't want nothing. It's nothing important. I was just calling to,
Right.
that shit never happened again. I'm telling you. It never happened again. Because I was
And,
so mad. I was so mad. I was like, I'm ready to pull you out of that school and make you come home and go to some local community college.
right. And I get it because my rule, Hoodie, I have 11 children. All of them are grown and out of the house now. If I don't get 11 text messages by 11 p.m., I'm whooping 11 asses.
Girl, who you telling? I'm still like that with my sons. I will text them and call them. See, but I slowed down, newbie, because I didn't want to be this worry wart of a mother that they
Mhm.
live with throughout their whole childhood. So
Right.
when the first one moved out, it was every day. I mean, all throughout the day. What you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing? Da, 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 da. Then when they had a baby, oh my God, what you doing? How you doing? I'm calling. Put the baby. The baby could be a week old. Can I just see him? Can I just see him? Put him on camera.
Right.
I mean, I'm that type of mother. And so then with my youngest one, when he finally got his own apartment, I was just still the same way. And then I said, maybe it's time for me to step back. So sometimes I would not call or reach out for maybe 3, 4, 5 days. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would reach out, or they would reach out like, dang, mom, I ain't heard from you. And it like surprises them when I don't reach out. And I said, I don't want to feel like a hovering helicopter of a mama, now that y'all grown.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of like step back a little bit, but then they be calling me. What you doing?
Right.
How you doing? What you doing? I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just checking on you, and then we end up talking for 30 minutes to an hour or whatever about everything and nothing. But
Right.
yeah, like it's kind of hard to pull away. Like you said, if I don't have those phone calls or something, like you like, But sometimes I was just too much. I have to admit, I was just too much. And so I'm like, I gotta pull back and maybe not call 5, 6 times a day.
Well, maybe not 5 or 6, but
I
just
mean, because I be on it, child.
in the morning and at night. I need to know y'all got to work okay. I need to know you got
Yes.
back home okay. And
Especially
that's
if
just
it's bad weather.
exactly. And then I got one child, Lord bless her soul. Me and this child right now, I want to go to Houston and punch her in her throat because that's Miss Debo. Because you won't hear from her for 3 or 4 days, and then she'll get to just blowing up your phone. I don't give a shit what you're doing. She gonna call 8 times back to back. Oh, you gonna answer when she call. And when they get
Ooh, my sons be doing that too. Mm-hmm.
when they get to calling back to back like that, Hoodie, instantly I think something's wrong. Like you gonna quit working my nerves. Girl, he pity.
honey, or when you call your child and they don't answer the phone, and
Right.
when they call you back, if you can't answer right away, they will continually blow your phone up. Like, hold up, you didn't answer me when I called, and now you basically demanding that I answer your phone call. Like,
Right.
but yeah, it's hard being a parent, and I love talking to parents, about their different experiences of parenting, even when their kids are grown, because we all
Uh-huh.
have different experiences, but we can always learn from each other, because it's no one way to parent. No perfect kids,
Right.
no perfect parents. No book can make you be a perfect parent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing. Like all these people who be giving all these seminars and selling these books and all that kind of shit. Like, don't do this and put them in the corner and don't do this and talk to them. There's like not one way or a perfect way to parent. If you feel like you
Right.
got to spank your kids' ass, spank their ass. Shit.
Right.
I'm definitely for discipline, shit, but sometimes you don't have to discipline. It can be a stern look, a stern voice, just taking things away from them that they really want. So it's not always about
Mm-hmm.
the spankings either.
And then, honey, you do know that you're like, and for not just you, but people that are listening, you understand that you're a different parent for each one of your children.
Absolutely, absolutely. And is this landlord?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What's up with y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing, landlord?
I'm chilling. I was just listening to the conversation and everything, and I was listening to you, Hood, say how with the calls to the sons. And my mama did that to me till up until she passed, all the way in my 40s and shit.
Oh.
So she did that, and
Mm-hmm.
as kids, yeah, we would look at it like me and my dad, we close, but my dad doesn't do that, and I don't do that with my own kids. So I mean, it's a gift and a curse though with sons where they had a mama always checking up on them,
Mm.
and we don't mind giving up the information.
Well, how
But
did you
then,
feel about it once you were in like your 20s and
Right.
30s? And how did
no,
that?
yeah, I was about to go
Yeah.
there. I was about to go
Okay.
there. I was
Okay.
about to go
Okay.
there. So even with it being in that way, it's still, mama being mama, but you end up having to where your sons end up running across women who they're expecting the same thing from.
Mm.
And when that doesn't happen, that's when the chaos happens in relationships and shit. So it's a gift and a curse because we
Oh.
want it. But as sons, when we go out into the world and mess with women and shit, we looking for that same shit,
Oh, wow.
but just not in a
Okay.
toxic way. And not in a toxic way. We're looking for that. But when you don't get it, oh man, we gonna move around, we gonna fuck around, and we gonna do what we doing.
Oh wow. I never thought about that.
That's interesting.
I never
So
thought about that. And both of my sons, they have been with their female ladies, their lady friends, or because neither one of them are married yet. But they've been with them each, I want to say at least 6-7 years, with their lady friends. And I have to admit that the ladies that they are with, they are, I don't want to say like me, but they are like really caring and really like hands on with their relationship. And
and what they
they
would
will
call
call me and hit me
overprotective,
up. They
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 would call it
yeah,
overprotective
yeah.
as a mother, but when it's coming from a woman, it almost seems psychotic. Why you need to
Mm.
know
Mm.
everywhere I'm at and this and that, and why I got to check in? Because as men, I mean, we still men.
Right,
We'll
right.
check in with our mamas, but goddamn, we end up we gonna find the same type of woman like our mamas that wants us to check in, but eventually it's like, man, I ain't gotta check in with this nigga.
Mm.
I'm a
Well,
grown
let
ass
me tell
motherfucker
y'all,
man.
Mr. Landlord and Hoodie, my youngest son, the
Mhm.
baby of the crew. Let me tell y'all something that happened. And y'all tell me what y'all think about this. It's a little girlfriend. It was his first little girlfriend. I think he was 16. And she was over. She visited, and I let them. They were in his bedroom, which is right. If y'all know how my house, his bedroom was right off of my kitchen. So they're in the room, and I let them close the door. because I was playing my music while I was cooking, and my music is usually loud. Okay. So whatever the hell they had going on in there, my music was loud. It was overpowering whatever they were watching or whatever they were doing in there. And she told him, this girl told my son, go out there and make her turn that down. That's so rude. We can't even hear the TV. And he told her, "Ho, you go out there and tell her to turn her music down." And they ended up having a little proposal about, because she called him a mama's boy because he wouldn't come out here and check me and make me turn my music down so they could hear the TV in his room. And he told her, when you leave tonight, don't worry about coming back. He dismissed her. So just from that little story, what do y'all think about that?
So
I'm gonna let Landlord go first.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and answer that question. I mean, that's yeah, she overstepped her boundaries and whatever, and it's still a situation where I guess it's different, because I'm guessing, I don't know. Was the dad around? Your son's dad, was he around?
He was at work. He was at work when this happened.
Oh, okay. He just hadn't put that up in him yet. I would say this because I look at my sons and I respect what they do and how they do it or whatever. And I blame myself for it, but I'm proud of it at the same time. To where my sons, the girlfriends that they end up with, they do really try to be in relationships with. And I'm the dad who is sitting back like, nigga, y'all ain't fucking with no other bros. What the fuck is going on? But I get it because they saw me being with their mom.
Okay.
So they know what being in a relationship is and what they want in a relationship type shit. So, but as me as a father, where I'm looking at their age, where they at and where I was at that time, is like, nigga, y'all tripping when maybe I'm the one that's tripping.
Because you might be thinking like I said with my sons when they were younger, you ain't gotta have one. You could like experience. You could have like, because I firmly but truly believe that children that young shouldn't settle down, and so that's one thing that that was unnerving to me. Like when my sons, like when they go through that experience of getting their heart broke for the first time or things like that, and you kind of gotta support them through it, because you don't want to just be like, fuck that bitch, fuck that hoe. You don't want them to have that same attitude with women. So you just got to be like, well, shit happens. It's not going to be your last girlfriend. It wasn't meant to be, shit like that. But when kids are really young and they be dead set on this is it, this is the one forever, ever. I'm like, you too young to know that. Like, you too.
And my own dad did that to me and shit back in the day when I had my first son. And before I had my first son, my dad was like, babe, she ain't the only woman out here, right?
Right. Yep.
And it was like, nigga, yeah, you right. And I started moving that way.
Mm-hmm. Especially when my sons were like 19, 20. Be out there, be free, experiment, date. I ain't saying be a hoe.
Yeah, but understand it. But it's so totally different with sons than it is with daughters and shit. My daughter's not a tramp ass motherfucker out here. I'm so proud of that. I wish she would have been gay before she,
Wait a minute. Lord, may I ask you, what do you consider a tramp of a woman? What is a tramp?
Say again. Answer that. Say again. I didn't hear it.
What do you consider a female tramp? What is a tramp?
What do I consider a tramp?
Mm-hmm.
I think my tramp level would have to be where, man, it's a couple of niggas that know each other or are also friends, and she knew that also, and she still fucked everybody.
Okay.
but you also
Okay.
don't want, as a father to a daughter, because I only have one. You don't want word to get around, and that's what's coming back, saying your daughter out here fucking
Mhm.
everybody.
Mhm. An overly promiscuous woman.
That,
That's
yeah,
basically, yeah.
I'm so glad that my daughter is not that.
Mhm.
And I'm so glad my daughter's not that.
And honey, you glad your daughter like that? Trust me, us mothers with boys, we be glad they ain't like that either.
Oh,
Because you
baby.
know there's a lot of man whores
Really?
out there who got kids all over the damn city.
I ain't got a lot of
And
kids. And I raised all my kids, and I was with their mamas. But I mean, I used to ask my sons to make sure, hey man, are you gay?
Mm.
oh, oh,
I used to ask my sons that. I have 3 sons and 1 daughter. I used to ask my sons that just
oh
to
my
make
god,
sure.
because they might not have been out there dating like that, or
No,
you know.
I asked them while they were young kids.
Oh, okay.
Doing the shit that they were doing and whatever, was like, okay, let me ask now, because I always let it be known. I want to know now and see how I can deal with it. Don't pop up on
Mhm.
me later down the line and shit.
Oh, wow.
I used to tell my sons, not asking, but I used to like tell them, if you ever decide that you want to, please know that if I may not even agree with it because of how I was raised and going to church and stuff, I still will love you. I won't put you out because, maybe like 10, 15, 20 years ago, that's what parents did. A lot of parents would put their kids out on the street. It's your way or my way or the highway. The kids be out there, they turn into all kind of drugs and homeless and, end up dead and then, stuff like that. So I always made them, they be like, Mom, I like girls. Mom, why you ask me that? Mom, why you? I'm like, I just want to let y'all know. If that's how it is, you still have me for support. I'm not going to shun you.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Let me know ahead of time. I don't want to see
Mhm.
the shit in my face, and I'm not gonna say, "Hey, you can't show up here with the little nigga." But by the grace of God, and fortunately, my sons aren't.
Yeah.
So that's the
Then, like,
cool
with
part.
that comes
But
the,
still, if that was the case, it's like, okay, all right, fine. Let me know, because nigga,
Mhm.
I'm gonna cap on that shit. So
Yeah.
whoever you fuck around and end up with, if that was the case, nigga, I'm capping on y'all, motherfucker. Man, get this fucking faggot ass shit up out of my face. My bad for saying the word,
Oh,
but
Lord.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
my main thing was,
But I would say
whether
that
my sons
to
like,
my children.
right, you still gonna love them, support them. That's
Yeah,
how,
no matter
it's
what.
more often nowadays where more parents are supportive than back in like the 80s and the 90s. But when it comes to mine, I was more concerned with me having something straight from our lineage. Because of course,
Hmm.
obviously, if you're dating the same sex, if you decide to have children, um, it definitely won't be your lineage per se. They would either have to adopt, or the girl would have to be inseminated, or what I'm saying. So that's one thing that only, like, my only thing was like, I could have grandchildren, but they wouldn't like be from me, from my blood. That's the only thing that ever, like, crossed
Yeah,
my mind when it comes to things like that. You know,
I
but
can tell you. I can tell you in my life that I've lived, the thing that made it easier for me to deal with folks of other sexuality, however the fuck they did they shit. I had a cousin who died of AIDS way back when I was in high school, during the time of folks was dying of AIDS like a motherfucker.
like every day, all day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So, and he was my first cousin. Grew up in Georgia and all the shit. Cool ass nigga. Hang out with him. Had all the finest women and all. We never knew until my mom was like, "Oh, your brother going to Georgia University. He a cheerleader." Like, man, what the fuck you mean he a cheerleader? Me and our family don't do that. What the fuck he? So he died of
So wait,
AIDS.
the
So
person that you lost, was he gay? He contract
yeah,
AIDS, to what I'm, if not such a personal.
he was gay. Yeah, he was gay. He was gay.
Okay. Because I'm asking because back in probably that same time period, my favorite uncle, it was my mom's brother. He contracted AIDS, but he was not gay. He was a fucking heroin addict,
Yeah,
and
no, I
that's how
understand how the
he
both
got
ways.
some
Yeah,
dirty needles. But back then,
yeah, dirty
nobody knew
needle shit.
what AIDS really was, and we were a landlord. When I tell you, my whole family was ostracized. Nobody wanted to be around us. They didn't want, you know what I mean, because we didn't know what it was and how it was contracted and all of the things. And it does something to me now in 2026 when we have medication that can help you live a semi-normal life with that virus. I would give anything for my uncle to have had those
The
medications.
dirty needle thing is what they didn't put out at first.
Right.
It was always about being a gay man disease type of thing. It was never put out about the dirty needles. We didn't find out about the dirty needles probably like, well, maybe 10 years later.
Yeah, I was about to say
So
about
that
10
was
years
fucked up.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 10 years later.
Yeah.
And that was a
You
big
know,
issue
so
because then, the stigmatism it was mainly gay men. Then they try to put it on mainly gay black men. So,
exactly.
and that was a heavy time period, like landlord said, where it was like flies. It was kind of like the Rona on 100. You know what I'm saying? Because even though the Rona took out a lot of people, the AIDS epidemic was
AIDS took
taking
out a
out
lot of people.
so many
It took
people
out
out.
a lot of people.
Yes, from across the world. And so even then, I remember in the 90s when I would be like maybe promiscuous, not promiscuous like that, but having sex with my boyfriend or whatnot, in times where maybe the condom broke or it came off. Do you talking about the panic in the 90s? I mean, the praying to the gods all night.
And I
Please, please, Lord, please.
always thought the panic was. I always thought the panic was just pregnancy.
Oh, that was a panic
Oh,
too, but that was
absolutely.
around
That
the
was the
AIDS
panic.
epidemic. That the late 80s and the 90s, that was numero uno. Having a
Right.
baby, okay, that was a
That's
panic
crazy.
too. But
Okay.
AIDS,
Pregnancy
because
was
back
light
then,
work. Okay.
yeah, pregnancy, okay, your mother she might even kick your ass out on the street. But with the AIDS back then, you did not survive from AIDS back then. It was like you're gonna die. That's what
But back then,
know.
I would say also back then it wasn't so. Well, I can't say that. The down low shit to where
Oh yeah.
the number of women having AIDS increased because the dudes were doing that.
Absolutely. That's why I never wanted to
motherfuckers
move to Atlanta.
they gonna tell me it was, it's the needles, and then man, women don't catch AIDS unless it's coming from a man.
A lot of women back in the day caught AIDS from their down low husband,
Yeah.
and that's another reason why I never wanted to move to Atlanta. No shade to my ATLians, but for real, they said that's the capital. Always said that's the capital of down low men, black men. So I've always been like,
And black men travel from other states to go down there for it
thank you,
because
thank
it was accepted. But I mean, hey, San Francisco was labeled as the motherfucking gay continent.
capital of the world. It was
capital, but it was its own continent. And eventually it moved from San Francisco to Atlanta. And that was just like, y'all just trying to put this shit on black motherfuckers, on black folks. And
because a lot of the old documentaries, a lot of them took place in like San Francisco. That's where a lot of the old documentaries on AIDS and things like that. Yeah.
Where it started. It's where it started.
Yep. But then when you go back and you do your research, and when you find out how it really happened, like how they say it happened from like a monkey or some shit. A monkey virus that went wild, like that shit.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor that got put out there.
Just like every other disease
that we have to deal with. COVID. They created it.
Hello, I didn't want to say it because I know what the logistics is for her channel. I don't want to get her shut down.
Yeah, hey, this the hood table. I mean, like it was created just like the Rona. That shit was created too. When Obama was in office and Obama was warning them about a particular disease that could turn into a pandemic, nobody wanted to listen to Obama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't deter the conversation, but I enjoyed this
Oh, not at
conversation.
all.
I'm about to get the fuck up off of here because I got to go to work in the morning and shit.
All
So,
right. Well, thank you so much for
man, hood, I
joining us
always like jumping
tonight.
on your stuff. And I don't know what's the lady name.
Newbie.
Oh, okay. Oh, newbie. I know. Oh, yeah. I know you. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well,
loaded.
you
I'm
know
high
what,
than a
landlord?
motherfucker.
We was
What's that?
discussing relationships earlier,
Uh-huh.
like the Luenell, and I'll be sure. And I was going to post this for the people in the chat to see what your answers were. So it's just
So
for
the
fun. It's just
Luenell,
for fun.
the
But
Luenell Albie Shore situation.
right. But this
I
is
don't.
just for
Okay, what do
fun.
you say? Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna go off of that. But the Luenell Albie Shore situation is, I mean, if what the allegations are true, and she would when he was, going through what he was going through, and she was the only
Right.
one there, I understand it. I
Yeah.
understand it. A man would definitely gears towards a woman that was in his corner like that.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
but if that part isn't what it is, and it's just a simple fact of, man, that nigga might find her attractive in whatever fuck way.
And that's what it appears to be,
And,
that
and,
he's
yeah,
really attracted to her. Yeah.
and that's the problem with society, because everybody, if you're worried about being judged on who you with, then nigga, you probably got to answer some questions within yourself. I don't give a fuck if you good to me, man. That's all I need. I could care
Absolutely.
less. I could care less what you look like.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that Linnell was telling that lady in the audience who asked her, how did she pull I'll be sure? She said, you better hope one day that you can find somebody that feels as strongly about you as I feel about him, and vice versa.
That's all they really come down to.
Yep.
It,
Yep.
it comes a time to where it's like, man, I'm not even saying at a certain age. It just comes a time where you like, man, I'm with somebody who other folks might not be that, or whatever. But nigga, this motherfucker fucks with me.
Absolutely.
And that's what it all comes down to. A person, you fuck with somebody that allows you to be you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you
And
fuck with
that's
somebody
where
that's trying
you
to
talk
change
about
you to
your
be to
person
what they
too.
want, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you fuck with somebody that's trying to change you to accommodate them, it's never gonna work. If I can't be me and that person can't be them, and we come into a middle to where this shit works out, then okay, it doesn't work out. But man, I'm not fucking with nobody just because a person say, "Oh, man, your bitch ugly than a motherfucker." Nigga, to who? Not to me. And you don't affect me.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yep. And then just for fun, if you want to answer, you can. If not, the people in the chat, this is
Okay,
just for
let me
fun.
look at it. Okay, they asked it. Let me see.
Yeah, I found this on Facebook.
Where do I stand? I stand alone with whoever I'm with.
Good answer.
I stand
It ain't
alone
on
with
there. I
whoever
need to
I'm with.
make that answer on there. I need to put that answer on there. Well, me personally, I'm going to say I'm several things. I'm crushing. I'm single and happy, and single and searching. So those are my things. I do know people who are at the bottom. I don't believe in love. I know there are some people who are absolutely like that as well. They got to the point where they just like fuck it. So
Yeah, I'm just, man, I'm me and with whoever I'm with.
yeah.
And that's how that is, because no matter what, I'm me.
Absolutely. Well, as
On
always,
top of it
landlord,
all.
I appreciate you for joining
It's
us
all
on the
good,
panel. It's
man. I
always a
appreciate you
pleasure.
allowing me up.
It's
And
always a pleasure.
I like when I'm able to catch your lives and come up. So I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, and I appreciate you too. All
I
right.
touch with you.
Okay, you have a good night.
Even your affiliates that I can't Riggs, I can't catch your shit all the time, nigga.
Oh, he goes live like several times a week. But sometimes we just don't.
I can't
Yeah,
catch it all the time, but I'm
yeah.
saying your affiliates, that's the only one. That's the only affiliate,
Right, right.
I'm
not
sorry, y'all.
Moses.
I've been here. I'm cooking, so I'm making plates and all type of stuff. I'm here though.
It's
It's
all good.
okay.
It's all good.
It's okay.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but yeah. I be hating. I be missing Riggs and shit, but I don't hate that I miss Moses and shit. But it is what it is.
All right. Well, I
You know
enjoyed you
who
tonight,
you
and
know
thank
who
you for
Moses is, right? You know who Moses is, right?
You said did you say Moses?
Yeah, I said Moses. I
Uh,
don't be catching Moses. Moses will share your shit, but I don't be catching Moses all the time. But when I do catch her, she always talking about me still. But shout out to Moses.
Moses. I'm lost. I'm lost.
I'm gonna leave it as a mystery right there. She gonna know.
You know what? I'm
She gonna
lost.
talk about it later. She gonna talk about it later.
Oh gosh. Oh, you know what? Get off of here.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Peace, ladies. Y'all
All
have a
right.
good night, man. Y'all do good.
You too. I like I be telling my sons, get off my phone. Just hang up. Get off my phone. But yeah, you guys, I really enjoyed tonight hanging out with you guys. The engagement in the chat and on the panel for newbie and landlord. I appreciate you guys. We discussed a little bit of this, a little bit of that, okay, as we are accustomed to. But yeah, shout out to Luenell, shout out to Albie Shore. I'm so glad that he's healthy now, and he's basically, on the mends. He's been doing very well since his transplant and things like that. So shout out to him. I heard that he said he was going to write a book. If I do get wind that the book is out, I definitely will go ahead and purchase it. I'm still reading listening because I bought the Audible of Brandy's new book. So maybe I'm thinking tomorrow I'll spend some time tomorrow listening to some more chapters and coming live and discussing some of the next chapters of her book. But I am really, really enjoying Brandy's book and the fact that it's an Audible and it's in her voice. So she's like telling her own story and reading her own book. I love that for her. So yeah, but other than that, newbie, do you got anything coming up?
I will listen to the Brandy book because it's you, hoodie. But damn her, big head ass. What the hell was on that note, Brandy? Until she tell us what was on that note, I don't want to hear shit, Brandy. Guys.
Oh, you said her big headed. Oh, Brandy, she didn't mean it, Brandy.
I did. It's no reflection of hoodie. The thoughts and opinions of the panel guests are their own.
That is so funny. She said her big head. You know what? Hold on. Here it is. The views and the opinions. Oh, that is so funny. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that book. So I definitely, tomorrow I'm going to try to come back live. And I've been trying to do my little consistency. I know Mel in the chat says she's still trying to get consistent on her channel. But Reed Rock said, yeah, Brandy, what was in that note?
All right. Hoodie, I love you. I'm going to go on and get out of here. I don't want to get
baby.
in trouble. Thank you for having me. I have enjoyed this, but I'm going to get on out of here before I get in trouble. Good night.
All right. You have a good night. And let me see if this is Landlord again. Landlord?
Yes, me again. I just wanted to come up here and say, before I get off, Nubiology, peace to you. But Luenell is from the town. She eats Stuckler business shit and all that shit too. So shout out Luenell. Shout out Luenell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm getting a nigga that other women that think she should have.
Thank you. They feel like us big girls. Us big girls, we can't
they act like she shouldn't have that nigga.
Yeah, like we big girls deserve love too.
Shit. I mean, hell yeah, I love them.
I love Luenell. I love
you still my Valentine, baby. But okay, I'm going.
All right, you have a good night.
It's all good, man. It's all good. You know what it is.
I know. I fuss with you too.
Sure.
All right. All right, everybody. So aside from beauty standards, Luenell has a great. She does. She have a great personality. I'm telling you, I was talking earlier in the show, how I fell in love with her when she used to be, back in the day, and she used to be on those comedy road tours, and they used to, record and film all of that, the background scenes, the behind the scenes, and her when she used to hit movies way, way back in the day. She had like little spots in movies immediately. It's first time I heard her and laughed at one of her jokes. I was like, "Oh my god, I love me some Luenell." And of course, I always loved Albie Shore since way back in the early '90s and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad that they are together. I'm glad they're happy. They're happy. They're together. They're healthy. I'll be sure that was a very scary moment. It's a lot of celebrities out here who have had some serious health scares, along with people in our own families. And so a lot of us, even though we might not know them personally, we have been fans of theirs for years, know them virtually or on social media, maybe even been to some of the comedy shows or concerts or things like that. So, as fans or people who can appreciate good music and talent, when people like that go through things, sometimes we go through those things with them. We pray for them. We wish the best for them. And that was how it was with Albie Shore, also with Jamie Foxx, and a lot of other people, in the industries who might have even passed away. The Whitney Houstons, the Michael Jacksons, the Princes, the Bernie Macs. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of us, we really, really do care about the well-being of people we have never maybe even met in person. It's called being human. You know what I mean? But yeah, so you guys take care of your family, your friends, your loved ones. Always try to look out for each other and things like that, because you never know. In a second, somebody's health could turn for the worse. In a second. But yes, and what's up, Reed Rock? I appreciate you for joining us today. Everybody who joined us today, just me, lovely love, Melissa, the newbie, landlord. I know some of y'all didn't drop down, but Peach Cobbler, Mr. Boston, everyone who joined us in the chat, Lady Virtue. I appreciate you guys for engaging. Everybody who's watching from the clouds, I appreciate you guys too. Like and share the video, please, and thank you very much. Your girl's on the road to 9K. So please, please, please help us stay in the algorithm by liking and sharing the video. I appreciate you guys. If you want to donate to the platform, the Cash App is $the Hood Table 402. If you want to donate, via cash super chat, you can always hit that $ at the bottom of the chat to donate. Anybody who catches us on a replay, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the show. If you have any opinions on anything we discussed about, and please make sure again you like and share the video. And again, shout out to the replay gang. You guys stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. I'm out. Bye.